So welcome everybody to Wine Wednesday. I hope you like my new studio setting. This actually isn't a studio setting, it's my back porch or sunroom. Anyway, so this week, here's my thought. The last thing we need is another thing that millennials want and like. And us old fogies, or otherwise known as baby boomers, are saying, why would you want to do that? But here it is, wine in a can. Yeah, wine's in the can. That's the thing. So the question is there any reason that you can't have a good wine in a can? And the answer to that question is no. There is no reason. There are lots of brands out there. This is the Oregon from Stoller. Here's Bonterra, Bubbles from A to Z. I already picked this one up. Porch Pounder, Dark Horse. Some of these brands you've seen in your stores. They're out there. But is there any reason why this wine is going to taste any different than if you buy it from in a bottle? And the answer to that, as I already said, is no. Except for some acidity problems that can occur in a can. If the acidity is too high, it can kind of eat into the lining of the can. So, the winemakers know this, so they make sure their wines are not in that pH range that would give it a problem. But the other thing is about cans is it is a totally dark and inert, holder of wine. There's no light. There's no light in there. So it doesn't age. There's no aging going on inside that can. In a blind tasting a couple of years ago, Forbes magazine concluded that there was no preference between wines in bottles and wines in cans, meaning they did a tasting where they had bottles of exactly the same wine and cans of exactly the same wine. They put them in glasses. The people did not know which was which, and they found that there was virtually no preference. It was basically a 50-50 split on what people like. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong, for the old cans. I think that for people like me, a can is merely a aesthetic thing. It's like, but we drink beer out of cans, we drink soda out of cans, we drink all things out of cans. But for some reason, wine hasn't gone there, but it is going there. You'll notice you have this size can. This is a 250 milliliter, which is basically a third of a bottle. And then you have the normal size can that you see, in, your soda and your beer, what we usually call a 12-ounce can, but this is a half of a bottle. This is a $3.75. So remember, when you're looking at prices on these, think of it in terms of a half of a bottle, because that's how much is in here, okay? It's 2 glasses. So, so what is the convenience? Why would you get it in the cans? Well, the first and the most obvious thing, the very most obvious thing, is you don't need a corkscrew and you don't need a glass, because you can just drink it straight out of the can. I personally don't like that. I've tasted a lot of wines in cans lately. I've been doing it out there, taking one for the team, and have found that I like wines and I don't like wines, but it's got nothing to do with the can. But I do like to pour it into a glass. But that sort of defeats one of the purposes down the line. But you can drink it out of the can. So then, portability. It's easy to store. You can throw it in your backpack. You can take it to the beach. It's great, and there's no risk of breakage. That's the big thing. I mean, it's cans. Lots of us get outdoorsy and you want to go places, you want to do things, and then bottles and corkscrews and glasses, all that comes into play. Well, with a can, you can pack them in your cooler with anything else you're going to bring. You can just stick it in your backpack however you want to take it. but you can take it to the beach, you can take it camping, you can take it hiking, you can take it tailgating, whatever you want to do with it, and you don't have to worry about the breakage. And amazingly, one of the big things that millennials have said that they love about cans is the recyclability of the can. And if you are hiking and camping and that sort of thing, when you have to pack your trash, to get it out of there, it's kind of easy to squash a can down smaller, and it's easier to get it out than it would be an empty bottle. So yeah, there are good reasons to do it. But in conclusion, I would say give your favorite flavor of wine a try in a can. There will be more and more of them out there. Give them a try, and I think that you'll find that you'll like some of them. I had an Oregon Pinot Noir the other night, and it tasted just like a good old Oregon Pinot Noir. I tasted a Pinot Gris the other day that we didn't like very much. We tasted it, there was no acidity. Well, we wouldn't have liked the wine to begin with. But then again, we tasted another one, it was well balanced and really good. So, just give it a chance. And I think you'll find there's a place for this. I wouldn't be surprised if they start coming out with 1 liter cans and that sort of thing that sort of take over for the bottle. There's a lot of cost efficiencies in cans versus bottles. They don't weigh as much, etc. So today, I do not have a wine of the week. I have a winery of the week. That winery is Trinchero Family Estates. Today I had the opportunity to have lunch with a dear old friend, Tommy Hines from Trinchero Wine Estates. We were at Trevinia Restaurant in Market Common in Myrtle Beach, and we had a wonderful lunch, enjoyed it, and tasted a number of the imports that Trinchero brings in. Trinchero is one of the few family wineries left in the United States, and I want to read something from their booklet, Trinchero. It says, now in its 3rd generation, the company has grown to one of the most respected family-owned wine companies. With over 50 award-winning global brands, Trinchero Family Estates remains an independent family-owned business. There's just not a lot of that left. And they have a lot of brands that you would be familiar with. You have the Trinchero brand, Nyers, Napa Cellars, Terradora, Joel Gott, Charles & Charles, Sea Glass, Menage a Trois, Montevina, and then a whole import line. And I don't know if you know it, but Trinchero is synonymous with Sutter Home. That's what started it all. That crazy little white Zinfandel gave them their start. And they have managed to become one of the great wine companies in our country. Congratulations to them. So tonight, I would just say, cheers.